So Nikon's next flagship camera is no longer just a rumor. It's real. It's coming. And it might be closer than anyone expected. The Z9 Mark II, possibly called the Z9 II, is shaping up to be a serious game changer. It's rumored to land before the 2026 Winter Olympics. That timing makes sense. Global events are a showcase for camera makers. It's where they prove what their technology can do. But before you start counting your savings, ask yourself this: is the Nikon Z90 to something you really need? Or is it an expensive piece of overkill designed for professionals only? Let's find out now. What exactly is this camera going to offer? At the heart of the Z92's buzz is something huge: the global shutter. If Nikon pulls this off, it would leap ahead of Sony and Canon in one very big way. Almost every camera today, even top-end ones, use a rolling shutter. It captures the image line by line. It works well most of the time, but not always. When you pan the camera quickly or shoot fast-moving subjects, it can cause warping. Things bend, straight lines curve. It's subtle, but for professionals, it matters. A global shutter doesn't have that problem. It reads the entire sensor all at once. No warping, no skew, no jello effect. Just clean, sharp images every time. In both video and stills, for sports shooters, wildlife photographers, and fast-paced action work, this changes the game. It also means flash sync can be faster, much faster. With a global shutter, there's no need to time the flash with a rolling sensor. That opens up entirely new lighting possibilities. It's not just an upgrade. It's a different category. Now, let's talk about resolution. The Z92 is expected to carry a 45-megapixel sensor. That might sound familiar because it's the same as the Z9, but pair that resolution with a global shutter, and the results could be very different, especially in fast action scenarios where rolling shutter used to cause problems. But global shutters come with trade-offs. Historically, they've had issues in low light. They often struggle with dynamic range. That means shadows and highlights don't always look great. So the question becomes, can Nikon deliver a global shutter that performs well in real-world conditions? That remains to be seen. But one thing's clear: the Z92 is being built for speed. And that brings us to the next headline feature. Reports say the Z9 II will shoot RAW at 40 frames per second. Yes, 40, that's double what the Z9 could do in RAW for JPEG shooters. The number is even more shocking, up to 240 frames per second. Let that sink in. That's faster than many video frame rates. But in full-resolution stills. It's not just about speed for the sake of it. It's about capturing the exact moment. The instant a bird takes off, the split second a runner crosses the finish line, the precise impact of a punch in a boxing match. That kind of speed isn't just nice to have. For professionals, it's vital. And then there's pre-capture RAW. This feature lets the camera start buffering images before you press the shutter. So even if you're a second late, you still get the shot. It's a bit like a time machine. You press the button, and the camera gives you the moments leading up to it. This feature has been available in other brands, and even in Nikon Z8 after a firmware update, but it was noticeably missing from the Z9. That caused a lot of noise in the photography world. People were angry. Why did Nikon skip such a useful feature in their top-tier body? Many believe it was a deliberate choice to hold something back for the Z9 to. If that's true, it may hurt Nikon's relationship with loyal customers, especially those who paid $5,500 for a Z9, expecting long-term support. Still, its inclusion in the Z92 is a smart and necessary move. What's going to power all this? A new processor. The Z92 will come with Nikon's next-gen Xpeed 8 chip. This processor will be doing heavy lifting. Handling the high-speed shooting, managing the data flow, processing global shutter readout, driving the autofocus system, supporting video features, all of it. That's no small task. It's expected to support advanced video features too, like 8K recording and high frame rate 4K. Nikon has already introduced Unlock 2 in some models. that gives you more flexibility in post-production color grading. It's likely unlocked to will be refined further in the Z9 II. All of this means better video and better workflow for hybrid shooters. Now let's talk about a boring but important topic. When you shoot 8K or high frame rate 4K for extended periods, things get hot. That's a common problem with mirrorless cameras. Even the Z9 had limits, but Nikon seems to be working on it. They showed off a modified version of the Z9 at CES 2025. It was part of their Moon camera project, a custom build for long-duration shooting in extreme conditions. It's possible some of that thermal management tech will make its way into the Z9 II. If it does, it could be a major upgrade for video creators and time-lapse shooters. Still, Nikon has more to worry about than specs. Competition is fierce. Sony is working on the A1 successor, possibly the A12. Canon is preparing the R1. These cameras are likely to hit similar specs: high speed, high resolution, advanced autofocus, video power. The Z90 will need to stand out, and that won't be easy, especially if it costs more than the Z9. Which brings us to the price. The original Z9 launched at $5,499. That was seen as aggressive pricing at the time, but today, everything is more expensive. Currency shifts, inflation, tariffs, supply chains. Analysts expect the Z90 to launch between $5,999 and $6,499. That's a serious investment, and it only gets steeper when you add lenses, batteries, storage, and accessories. So, the real question becomes: is this the right camera for you? Let's get real. The Z90 is not built for beginners. Even the Z9W8S and single quotes T. And this new version, with even more features and complexity, will be even more demanding. There's a steep learning curve. You have to understand custom autofocus settings. You'll be navigating deep menu systems. You'll be configuring buttons and profiles. If you're just starting out, that's not only overwhelming, it's discouraging. Instead of learning photography, you'll be stuck learning how to operate the camera. Then there's the size. The Z9 is big. The Z90 likely will be to add pro-level lenses to the mix, and you've got a heavy kit. Carrying it all day? Not fun. And for casual shooters or hobbyists that can quickly take the joy out of photography, many seasoned users say the same thing. The best camera is the one you'll actually carry. For many, that's not a giant flagship body with a 400mm lens. It's something smaller, simpler. There's also the question of value. Camera tech moves fast. Today's flagship is tomorrow's mid-tier. If you're not a working pro, spending $6,000 on a body might not make sense, especially if you won't use even half its capabilities. You'd be paying for features you don't need. And by the time you're skilled enough to use them, newer models will be out. That's why experienced photographers often say marry the lenses. Date the body. High-quality lenses last. They hold value. They impact image quality more than the camera body. So if you're just starting out, spend on good glass. Start with something like the Z5, Z6II, or ZF. They'll teach you the fundamentals. They're lighter, easier to use, and way more budget-friendly. Then, when you're ready, when you need the features of a Z9 II, you'll know it, and you'll be able to use them properly. So, who is the Z90 for? It's for professionals, photographers who shoot high-speed action, sports, wildlife, news, people who work in demanding environments, where every shot counts. It's for hybrid shooters who need the best video and stills in one body. It's for creators who live at the edge of what's technically possible. For them, the Z90 won't be overkill. It'll be a necessity. But for most people, it's not the right tool. It's too big, too complex, too expensive. And too much camera for the real-world needs of beginners and even many advanced hobbyists. That's not a criticism of Nikon. They're building a tool for a specific purpose, but it's important to be honest about whether that tool fits your needs or your budget. What do you think? Is Nikon making the right moves? Are you excited for the Z90? Or do you think the camera world is getting a little too fast, too soon? Let us know in the comments.